Hey guys, how's it going? Today the patch notes for 11.5 just got posted, so I thought, I'll try making a little bit of a different video today and I'll go over the patch notes. So as of now, they've been posted 4 hours ago. I haven't really looked at them yet. It shows a little highlight here, so they've nerfed Azir, Gragas, Rammus, Rel, Seraphine, Shaco, Udyr, and they're buffing Jax, Karma, Kogmaw, Yi, which I don't think should be on there. Kiana, Samira, Sejuani, which will be pretty nice, hopefully not overtuned, and then Trundle, which will be interesting. They're adjusting Pike and Twitch, which the Pike kind of hits me from surprise, but oh well. And then the item changes, definitely like Serpentis Fang doesn't really get bought very often. I mean, I've had like one game where it's actually super effective for my team to buy it, but I was playing like Karthus that game, but I had like a Zed mid and he popped off with it. Black Cleaver is definitely not as strong as it used to be. Ma is kind of in a weird position as well. Ginsu's is really strong. Stridebreaker is kind of and then Mermaid is really strong, so that makes sense. Of course, we got those cute bee skins. So we get into it. So the Azir changes. Um, his W Sand Soldier, the damage is getting decreased. They say balancing out Azir's steady power curve throughout the duration of a game by picking down his early lane control. They're reducing the damage by 10 at first level and 10 at max level, and that's just a level 1 to 18 thing. 10 damage less on every that's actually that really adds up because that's on every single like auto attack he makes with the soldiers, and then he usually has multiple soldiers out when he's fighting someone. So if you have 2 soldiers out, that's 20 that you're losing out on, and 30 for 3. So that's actually pretty big. I haven't been seeing a lot of his here, so I feel like this is that really hurts. Definitely makes his early game harder. Now Gragas, Q cost is flat now. 60 mana to 80 mana to just being 80 mana all ranks. That really hurts him in the jungle because you usually want to be clearing camps with your Q, and now that it's going to be costing 20 more at level or at rank 1, like it's gonna be rough. Definitely, like it's probably targeted towards lane so that he can't just poke with Q as much, but it's gonna affect him in the jungle as well. Mana regen in the jungle is okay, but I mean, all in all, I feel like it's okay considering how Gragas has been played recently. Next up, we have Jax. Base damage growth increased, so from it looks like 3.38 per level to 4.25. So that's like a 0.9 increase. I'd say that's way too much. um, he's really just gonna pop off now. Jax is already a pretty strong pick, and I think he'll continue to be a strong pick. Cooldown decreased for Karma's Q, that's her main damaging ability, by 1 second at all ranks. Now, I've played Karma Jungle before, which is really fun. I do miss when that was more possible. I don't like. They're saying that it's like to. They're saying that she got nerfed in season 10, in late season 10, and they buffed her a little bit last or like 2 patches ago. I think it's okay. I'm not too crazy when they do like a 1 second cooldown, especially because like when you're playing Karma in lane, although you want to spam Q, like you don't want to spam off cooldown. So either way, you're probably waiting that 1 second anyways. Maybe like hits harder in like a fight, I guess. Kogmaw, I don't know why there's this random greater than sign. W bonus damage increased later. So first rank 3 is still the same 3 to 3, but now it's going from 6% of targets max health to 7% of targets max health. Bonus damage per auto. He does auto. That's 1% more of their target's max health, and that's per auto. So I think that that's pretty strong. I don't think he's going to be huge. I definitely think it makes him more anti-tank. It's pretty good for being in the right direction. Master Yi, E base damage increase. This is his true damage when he activates his E. So it's from 18 to 20 at level 1 and from 50 to 60. Oh, no. So an extra 10 bonus damage per auto. But the thing is, he's going to be autoing you like 5 or more times. So, like, an extra, like, 50 true damage, even though he already usually, like, overkills people. I don't... And, like, you max E second, so this is, like, a mid-game... I mean, a little bit of, like, an early-game buff, but, like, it's mainly, like, a mid-game buff. I don't... I mean, I guess it make... It's okay. Like, it makes his mid-game and his late-game stronger. He's supposed to be weak early, so I'm glad they didn't change much about that, but he can usually just sort of farm up. His weakness is getting CC'd, and I don't know. I don't think he is... I mean, as someone who doesn't really enjoy the Yi playstyle of just, like, right-click, press Q to not take any damage, and then heal up and have a hard time dying, like, and only really being countered by hard CC, I'm not a huge fan of that. But I mean, I never really see him played, but I don't really like the buffs too much. Pike, passive gray health storage decrease, now adds lethality and increases when enemies are nearby. What? Gray health storage. So far it was 25 to 50% of damage taken, depending on like as the level grows, to 10% of damage taken plus 25% lethality. Increase to 35% of damage taken plus 50% lethality when 2 or more damage are nearby. So that's his passive, that when he's not seen, that he starts regenning a portion of this health that he took. I'm not sure. Like, it's a weird change. I don't play enough Pike to really know if this is good or not. In the patch sort of like rundown, they said they were changing him. This definitely is a change. Like, I can't tell if it's like a nerf or a buff. Now, like, when they're saying like 10% or like 10% of damage taken plus 25% lethality, does like I'd like some clarification on, does that mean that like it's plus 25 because is it plus 25% times like lethality as like a percentage, or is it just 25% of your lethality? Because like then that's like a flat amount, so adding like a flat amount to the percentage, which is weird because then I think it's a nerf, but that's just weird. Be nice if they could explain that better. Kiana W bonus damage increased and R damage increased, so she's getting buffed. Let's see, W, it's the same rank 1, and then it's up by 24 damage rank, like max rank 5, and the AP scaling is increased. Now she doesn't build AP, so I don't know why they increased the AP scaling. She's meant to be an AD assassin, so this doesn't really make sense. Her ultimate, same damage at rank 1, and then 60 more damage later ranks. I think that's okay. I've played Kiana jungle a bit, and I do feel like her ult, like unless you really get snowballing, it sort of feels like it falls off. So that makes sense. The W, I guess it's a little bit of damage, so it'll be nice. Rammus, base health growth decreased. Now I'm pretty sure he already had like one of the lowest healths in the game, so that's just kind of weird. It's minus 15 health per level from what he was this patch to next patch. These changes, so like as you can see in the corner here, if my camera is, yeah, so like right over there at the bottom, it says that we're still on 11.4. So these are the 11.5 changes, so we still have one more like day until the update hits. Now Rel, base armor decreased. W1 and 2 cooldown increase, so that's quite the nerf. 2 seconds on each. That's gonna hurt. Like 1 second, like a 1 second nerf. Like okay, well, 1 second buffs I'm not too crazy about. 1 second nerfs do really suck. Even though it's weird, like I don't know. The buffs I'm like but like the nerfs I'm like no. But like I don't play Rel. Rel's kind of strong. The armor nerf, base. That's just a base nerf, so nothing too huge. I don't know what the percentage changes from 32 to 35. But this is like taking 4 seconds off of like her kit, so that's rough. Will probably still be still playable, just not as dominant. Samira, base damage growth increased, Q damage ratio increased later on. So right now it's 80 to 110, and now it's 80 to 120. And the buff takes into effect as soon as you put like 2 or more points into Q. An extra 0.7. When they say damage growth, I assume that they're talking about attack damage growth. Should be okay. I mean, I thought Samira was already pretty dominant, so I guess we'll see. Sejuani, here we go. Finally a jungler. So W second hit damage ratio increase. Now I like that. I'm pretty sure they actually nerfed that a while back. It's definitely good to put that on the second hit because it does take some more skill to hit the second hit. But it's changing from 5.25%, so 5.25% of Sejuani's maximum health to 6% of her maximum health. Now, that's definitely nice. It doesn't really help her make her clear any better. It slightly helps with maybe some dueling. Now, if they put it on both the first and the second hit, I'd be like, okay, yeah, Sejuani is going to be strong now. But this, it's kind of just I guess since Sejuani's has been in a point before where she just really takes over the jungle, as she does like so much damage and she doesn't take much. It's not so much about dealing so much damage, but she doesn't take damage and continue to do damage that it feels like she's doing so much damage. So, I think if they wanted to make Sejuani better, they should. I mean, this is her key, this is her main damaging ability. Tough to say. They've already nerfed her passive. The W buff is nice. I'd say they need to increase the base damage just a little bit. Like if they would have just added on because I think there's base damage on Sejuani W, maybe like increase that by like 5. If they increased on 5 on both casts, that'd be amazing. But oh well. Bit of a buff. Might try Sejuani again, see how that works out. Seraphine, passive, subsequent note damage, decay removed, note damage from allies reduced, R cooldown increased. So Seraphine's notes no longer decay in damage to non-minions. Interesting. I guess that means it actually does more damage to champions. Backup vocals, backup. Notes from allies now only deal 25% damage if Seraphine's note damage to all targets, including minions. So I guess instead of having a decay, it's just flat, like less damage. Note damage overall buffed, though. Yeah. Longer cooldown on the ult. I think that's, I mean, only early game. Should be okay. Pretty sure she's still playable. Shaco, W base damage and single target base damage decrease. That's nice. Although Shaco mains are gonna be mad about that. Now it deals increased damage to monsters. Shaco mains are gonna like that. So the base damage is down by 5 per hit, I believe that is. Single target base damage is down by 10 per hit. And there's something new. Pop goes to the monster jacket box and it deals additional 10 to 50 damage to monsters. So even though they actually, against monsters, they're increasing the damage it does on hit to each hit by 5, which is nice because his like Shaco's clear speed falls off so hard past like your first clear. It's pretty bad. I think this is a change in the right direction, although Shaco's already been sort of doing great without the buffs, but I like how they're buffing his clear, and they're nerfing his like it's like single target damage. Because all the Shaco players weren't complaining about the damage against players, they're complaining about the clear speeds. Trundle Q cooldown decreased by half a second. Now, because of how much you spam this while you're fighting, like it actually will be nice. So like they're not changing any of his numbers or anything. It's just you just get to Q more. So like maybe you get to Q like an extra time in like a gank possibly. Also in team fights it means that he'll get to do quite a bit more. Now, Twitch. Passive damage ratio per stack decreased. Nice. Our bonus damage increased. And the duration increased. Honestly, yeah, like I feel like Twitch ult, since it's such a huge part of his kit, it feels like sometimes it just doesn't last quite long enough, or like it gets like people tank the 5 seconds and then they're not dead, and you're just like, well, now I just can't do anything. So they're giving him an extra 1 second on his ult, an increased bonus damage, so I feel like he's gonna be very strong. They're nerfing the AP on his passives. This will definitely bring back AD Twitch, but it'll still make AP Twitch somewhat strong. Ooh dear. Okay. So taking 7 health off of each level. Interesting. Makes them a little bit easier to kill. Phoenix Stance, it's the aura that they're reducing by 10 at first rank and to 35 at max rank. Total damage. So that's the damage over 4 seconds. So, like, again, like it's like this, like the aura doesn't really affect him too much. Like even when you're clearing on Udyr, like a lot of the damage just comes from the actual like the Phoenix breath, and if you could still line that up on jungle camps, you still clear fast. So I mean, it's definitely just makes it where people who aren't good at Udyr have a bit of a rougher time. I don't really think the aura matters. And this is the second time where they've like hit his aura, but I don't know. I feel like they just don't really. I mean, I saw a video and they were sort of talking about how Udyr excels in metas where he gets to stat check people based on being able to farm up a lot. So I think as long as this meta sticks around where you kind of just farm and stat check, or at least you can just do that, then Udyr is just going to continue to be strong. Viego fixed several bugs related to measures and possession. Passive turret dodging removed. That's nice, because before he just dives so much. So bug fix. He no longer loses stacks when possessing it. Oh, that's interesting. But I don't know why people would go AP Viego, whatever. He's supposed to be 80. Fixed a bug where he can possess an enemy soul from extreme ranges. Okay. Sometimes instantly possess souls without the 1 second cast time. I might have seen that. Turret dodging. That's definitely nice. I mean, Viego's definitely seemed really strong, and I think that being able to remove his diving ability will be really great, because essentially when he like he can dive and just start off tanking, provided they get the kill. He then just immediately can drop aggro, and that's just a little OP. Items. Mermana heavily overlaps with Essence Reaver, both in stats and use cases. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, you don't get crit from Mermana or Spellblade, but okay. To better differentiate between the two, we're changing Mermaid as proc to focus more on empowering abilities, or as Essence Reaver's auto attacks through abilities. So, basic attacks and abilities deal 2.5% max mana as bonus damage against champions. That's what it was, and now it's basic attacks deal 1.5% max mana as bonus damage. Melee abilities deal 3.5, so that's a buff max mana. Ranged abilities 2.7. All abilities also deal plus 6% total AD as bonus damage against champions. On-hit attacks that trigger spell effects count as abilities for this purpose. It's actually, that sounds pretty strong, I gotta say. Like, it definitely makes it where you don't want to buy Mermaid as much on, like, people that just auto-attack a bunch, but, like, someone on Ezreal who auto-attacks, but then also he's, like, using his Q, like, it's actually a buff every time he, well, if he auto-attacks and Qs, before that'd be 5% max mana as bonus damage, whereas now it's actually going to be 4.2%. So in a way, I guess that is a nerf, but then also the abilities deal plus this, 6% total AD. Maybe it makes up for it. Who knows? Because, like, the main buff here is to the melee abilities, but, like, there's not a lot of melee abilities, like, other than maybe, like, Jace. But even then, he doesn't have much. I don't know. Doesn't sound like Mermaid is going to be that great after this patch. Stridebreaker's dash didn't feel as powerful as its slash. So we're balancing both while aiming for a power neutral change. So the halting slash dash range, dashing further. Okay, I like that. I buy this item on Vi. That's going to be nice. The speed is slightly increased. That's also nice. So you're going to go farther and faster. The slow decay, instead of 60% over 2 seconds, now 40% over 2 seconds, so you're not going to slow as much. And the damage is down. Okay, well, they're giving us more mobility but less damage, but it doesn't do much damage to begin with. I don't know. Not sure how I feel about that. Gwinsu's Rage Blade. Oh, they're talking about how some champions like Senna benefit way too much. Updated Wrath. Convert every 1% critical strike chance into 2 bonus physical damage on hit with a maximum of 100% critical strike chance. Wrath's on-hit damage conversion is now affected by critical strike damage modifiers. Okay. So I think that's just an appropriate nerf, I believe. Or fix, depending on how you want to look at it. Now, Serpentis Fang, here we go. Serpentis Fang is a powerful but underwhelming, definitely, and confusing item, definitely. We're making it more broadly usable. That'd be nice. Imagine grievous wounds for shields, but with extra profits. Interesting concept. So let's read about it. Shield Reaver. Dealing damage to an enemy champion reduces any shield they gain by 50% for melee champions, 25%. Ooh, that is like a grievous wounds for shields for the next 3 seconds. And when you damage an enemy who is unaffected by Shield Reaver, reducing all shields on them by 50%. Wait, what? When you damage a champion who is unaffected by Shield Reaver, reduce all shields on them. Okay, so it also it still will, it chunks shields, but also prevents shields that gets put on later. Interesting. I do like that, because the other thing about, like, the extra damage against shielded targets is that they have to be shielded for you to get that, and the extra damage, it's just going to be shielded anyways, so, like, it's kind of nice, but at the same time, it's kind of like, is it really all that much extra damage? Maw of Malmortius, cheaper, that's nice, because it is pretty expensive, and considering there's some builds where it feels like you need to have this against so much AP. Black Cleaver, adjusting BC to be better suited for longer fights while packing it with more punch for its cost. Cheaper, that's nice. And a lot of people have been buying it. They buffed its health, which is good. They removed Butcher. Butcher was always felt weird because like you need to get max stacks on them anyways. So it's like only really extended fights against the same target is actually really useful. And then new Rage. Dealing physical damage to a champion grants 5 movement speed per stack of carve on them for 2 seconds. That could be really good. Could definitely see that being good on Darius and like Gnar, those sort of champions. That just like to wail away on them and chase. Pretty good. Could also see it being nice on Lee Sin now. So a little bit cheaper, which is nice for him. More health, which will be good for him. He never really made use of Butcher, but the movement speed will be helpful. In-game shop updates. Okay, starter bundles. That's the recommended view will now offer you the most popular combination of them. Oh, okay, I like that definitely because right now it's like, oh, you should buy this, and then you buy that. Oh, you should buy this, and it's just like what. But like in terms of the combination of items that you start with, it doesn't really show you those. The font rendering has been improved. Literally okay. That's pretty funny. Wait. Performance added 2 HP to the shop to round the number. Oh, wait, what? The shop had hit points? What? Shirelia's now when filtering on AP or manager. Okay. Bug fixes, league client. Man, there's just too many there's just too many bugs in the league client. Discovered and fixed an issue that would cause players to be stuck at the waiting for stats screen instead of directing a player to their endgame lobby. Yeah, that sucked. Fixed various rendering issues with match history. Okay, fixed a bug preventing players from trading champions and shit. Yeah, I had to definitely had to dodge a few times because of that. It's a big yikes. And that just sort of like a random bug fixes. Haven't really encountered any bugs. There's actually like for a while, like what people would do is like if they find like a bug on here, it means you now have 1 day to try and exploit that bug before the patch comes out, but they're usually not too exploitable. And then we got these cool skins. Bizahar, that seems really cool. B Malzahar, UB, which is and B-Maw. B-Maw looks like it'll be really fun. Yeah, well, that's about it. I think back to this sort of graphic with the patch highlights. In terms of jungle, not a whole lot has really changed. Rammus got slightly nerfed, but it's not very big. Shaco buffed. Udyr nerfed, but I don't really think it'll affect him too. I think all these nerfs does sort of bring him down a little bit, make him a little less annoying, but still should be pretty strong. And the item changes, they're all items that people don't buy a lot of, so they're just trying to increase that. All in all, I think it's a good patch. I mean, also the Sejuani buffs, the Yi buffs might be a little scary, but they didn't make him harder to kill, so it's pretty good. The Jax buffs looked pretty strong. Sejuani buffs we'll have to see. But yeah, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this new sort of style of video where I'm just talking about the new patch. I know that this is pretty common where people go through and highlight some stuff, but now you get my take on it. If that means anything to you, great. If it doesn't, then oh well. I mean, there is other videos from smarter people out there that can help point you in the right direction. Although I'm pretty sure we'll have mostly the same opinions on this. I don't know, maybe one of these nerfs that I overlooked is like totally game changing. But I kind of doubt it. I feel like we'll be seeing maybe less Azirs. But all in all, I think a pretty solid patch. Not huge changes to the jungle, which is nice because too often the jungle gets dramatically changed after every patch. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe If you haven't already, leave a like in the video if you like this sort of content. I can do another one for next patch in 2 weeks, I believe it comes out in. Stay safe, and thanks for watching.